My name is Deric Vasquez, and I've been doing karate for almost a little over 2 years. My first tournament is tomorrow, and let's see how this goes.
In reality, I will help with the bronze medal. I should have got third. I got third in my head. If I had real judges, I would help third. At least second. I can't wait to go back in there again, feeling better.
I'm Deric Vasquez, and we are back with the tournament season, and this time it's going to be big. When I woke up the day of the tournament, obviously I wasn't sick this time, so I wasn't as nervous for some reason. I was more confident, if anything. I was ready to win some medals, hopefully. I just remember being a little nervous, obviously, but I wasn't as nervous from the Riverside one. I was pretty confident, actually, and I was excited most of the part because I wasn't sick and I was going in here full energy. And Sensei Brandon was competing with me this time, so obviously it was a lot different. But my mindset was kind of just get in there, win some medals, get out, and go to bed for the rest of the day. Since this was my second tournament, and I wasn't sick, and I had Sensei Brandon with me, it made me feel a little bit more confident, to be honest. I was full energy, my thoughts were completely healthy, and I was going with Sensei Brandon, so obviously I was going to be cheering Sensei Brandon on for his tournament, and then the opposite where he'll be cheering me on all on the same day, so it felt pretty hyped, to be honest. But didn't really play much into my emotion. It just made me more excited, to be honest.
Bro, what the?
Go.
Somehow this place is like closer than the Riverside one. The Riverside one took like an hour and a half. It's only an hour 15. Alright, so last time we talked about sailing into the darkness, right? There's monsters in the darkness. That's what causes fear. Without fear, you can't be courageous. Right? But you have to remember what your nickname was growing up, the monster. So it's your turn to be the monster. Just as much as you have fear going into the darkness, so do they. So you be somebody else's monster today. Alright? So I got a playlist I put together today. We're going to listen to your music like we always do. But there's something else, and I just want you to put your head back. You can close your eyes if you want. And just really listen to it and get into the right headspace. Alright? So I put it together for you. So having two kids compete in competitive sports, it's almost like it's like the fountain of youth, you know. I wrestled a long time ago, and watching Xander go through that, and I even coached Xander through a lot of his journey. Like it rejuvenates you, you know. Like I started to train again. I started going to his gym. Like all those old feelings that I had watching Xander compete, like the nerves and the wanting to be out there with him and be in his ear. Like it's almost harder for me to watch Deric than it was Xander, because when I was with Xander, I was, like I said, I coached him, so I was in his corner at a lot of his matches, you know, in between rounds. I was giving him his water, coaching him up, you know, so I was able to be part of it. Watching Deric, I'm in the stands, you know, and I want so bad to be in his ear and like tell him it's okay when he has, you know, a rough match or he loses or he makes a mistake, and I can see it on his face and he's beating himself up. Like I want so bad to be there. And like I was with Xander, and I just can't, you know, so it's super hard. So like the feelings are the same, but the aftermath of it's a lot different. I can't be in his ear like Brandon can, or Sensei Adam. Like those are his main coaches, so I want Deric to listen to them, but I also want to have part of it, you know. Maybe I'm being selfish, but like, so what I try to do is I try to get in Deric's mental game, you know. So when we drive to the tournaments or we're driving home from practice, you know, I try to get in his head and I try to talk to him about where his headspace is at and how to think and how to tackle obstacles and, you know, how to come back from bad situations and failures, and even when he's successful, you know, not letting it get to his head You know, I make playlists, music playlists for him. And then this last tournament, I made a playlist of like motivational speeches and things like that about, you know, bringing that monster out of him. You know, we've always called him the monster since he was a baby, you know, so I always try to get that out of him.
On the car ride there to the tournament, my dad gave me a little speech to kind of help me. It actually gave me more of a confidence boost, if anything. And he also played like motivational like speech songs or whatever you want to call it while we were there, and it gave me even more of a confidence boost. So I was definitely even more hype, and I wasn't as, you know, nervous, which boosted my ego crazy. Because being nervous obviously plays a huge factor when it comes to tournaments and competing. So being completely like normal, relaxed, with a little bit of nervousness on the side, it makes your adrenaline just perfect. So I think my dad did perfect for that whole thing, and I was ready. I was so ready.
I'll carry it.
You ready?
Yeah, Linwood. So I haven't been competing for around 10 years. So in my mind for Linwood, I was very nervous. Looking at my competition the night before and kind of sizing up my opponents. So it's very, you know, nervous. Almost felt close to brand new, like if I was competing again as a new competitor.
So watching Deric compete in the first tournament, like as not only his father, but like as a competitor, you know, him competing sick, it was rough. And then the matches were rough. And then seeing how he was disappointed, he was so close even though being sick, like it made me want to like compete so bad. But seeing at the end Brandon's face, Sensei Brandon, and him telling me like later on that week, like it made him mad and it bothered him. And he said like, I'm gonna come back and compete. I'm gonna compete with Deric and do it with Deric. And like for me that meant a lot. Like I knew that we found a good coach in Sensei and Brandon, but him doing that for my son was like next level. Like then it made me think like, this is the guy. You know, this is the guy I'm entrusting my son's future in karate with, and it meant a lot to me to see that. And so when he said that, it was like, hell yeah, you know. So watching him compete was super intense too. Like we built a relationship, you know. Like he trains my sons, and me and Brandon do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu together, you know. So we have a friendship. We have like a competitor bond, you know. But after him saying he was gonna compete with Deric, like that was game changing for me as a father, seeing someone step up for my son like that.
Yeah, so walking in to the tournament, we pay I pay the registration, and then we walk in, and then I see the mats, and we were the first ones in, so I knew that I was going to be the first one up for the tournament. So it's the nerves started to get to me, once I started to put on my gi, start warming up, those nerves kind of went away, and I was getting warmed up, getting ready to compete, and getting into the zone for my competition.
I'm ready, dude. Today's the day. I don't think I've ever been this excited before. Like, this is my second tournament. I'm actually like not nervous. I'm actually really hyped for this.
So we warmed up for a bit, and then we got into Brandon's tournament time. So that's when his bracket got to the tournament, and then he was getting ready for his. So I worried less on me, and then more about him, making sure he was ready, and just cheering him on as he got there, holding his belt for when he's ready. And then it was time for Brandon to perform.
Attention, please. May I have your attention, please? I'd like to welcome you to the tournament. We are about to begin. competitors, officials, Yosuke. Right. Thank you. Let's begin.
Anticipation not difficult. Once I bowed in for my division, so I think I had a bye that tournament, and I was watching the other competitors. Some competitors okay, some competitors decent, and there was two competitors that stood out the most, and I could see that those competitors were international competitors. So I knew that I was going to struggle with them because getting ready for this tournament, going back in, I'm not as seasoned as these competitors that are international competitors.
So knowing that he was stepping on the mat after 10 years just for my son and to be there with him and go through that journey, like I felt invested, so we got to the tournament. I sit down, we're waiting. It was a long wait. And then they call the adults up first, and that's Brandon's bracket. And he goes up for kata, and my heart just starts to pound right away. And it's like if Deric was about to compete. So I couldn't sit down. Nerves hit me. I stood up. Luckily, we're in the top part of the bleachers. And I stand up, and I cross my arms because I'm just locked in,
Yeah, so the competitor that I competed against, he was a international competitor, very good competitor. Different style than me. I'm Shotokan, and he's Shitoryu, Bojiryu, something like that. Shitoryu, I think. I was prepared as much as I can be. I feel that my performance, I'm proud of my performance of my kata.
Yeah, so Brandon finished his kata. I think he did phenomenal. He had some pretty tough guys in his bracket. There were some really nice guys when we were in line before. This dude named Eric, so we got to kind of talk to him a little bit, and didn't know he was in Brandon's bracket. And in one of the katas, he went against him, but I just felt Brandon was super crisp with his moves, longer, stronger kiai, and I just felt like he won, and he ended up losing that match to Eric.
My competitor, very good kata. So I lost that round, and that's okay. Congratulations to my competitor. He's very good kata. There's really, I just need to keep on training and go back to the drawing board and keep on competing and slowly, again to keep on going on in the ranks and making my kata better. After my 10-year break of competition, I didn't expect me to win a medal. My karate's good, I feel, but I don't do competition training regularly. Now I do competition training more regularly now, but I knew that I was going to give it my all, and I was going to do the best that I can do, and I knew that there was going to be good competitors because I'm 32 and these competitors are 18 years old as well. So, I know from the 18 to 25-year-olds, their katas are very, very good. Yeah, so that one's, so my mindset for kumite, that one's interesting. Because I've never been a kumite guy in tournament. Never competed kumite in tournament, only kumite inside dojo. So, yeah, I knew that I was going to give it my all. And I do have good kumite as well, I think. But, those competitors are good too in kumite as well. Like the same thing as kata. That 18-year-old to 25-year-old competitors, they're in their prime. And I'm at the end of that division. I'm 32.
Yeah, so after kata, the nerves start to kind of calm down a little bit. You still stay locked in, but you're not as nervous because you're already in go mode. So they start getting ready for kumite. His very first competitor is a tough kid. Someone we know. He trains with Sensei Joseph up in Vegas, and great match, back and forth. And Brandon will tell you, Brandon's a kata guy. He's not really a kumite guy. So he's stepping into something he's not as comfortable with, but he's still really good at it. But he's never really done it as much as kata. So to see him go in there and compete against guys that are really good and part of big dojos, a lot faster, and they're young. They're still in their primes. They're in their mid-20s. So I thought Brandon did a great job. He stuck with them. He was very aggressive. He charged in. He showed no fear in there.
My performance for the kumite matches were good. I'm proud of myself. I went in there and I gave a good performance. I landed some good yakuzukis, a good yokogeri, kikomi to the body on my competitor. And that competitor was an international competitor. So I think I did very well. My takeaway from that is to continue training in my kumite. I've learned certain things that I need to work on, like my timing and my distance, and maybe mixing it up more, develop more combination. That's what I took away from that.
So after Sensei Brandon's bracket finished, I had no idea I would be waiting for 8 hours. I ended up waiting 8 hours, and it kind of threw me off. All of the confidence boost I got from earlier kind of started dying down as time went on, and I was getting tired, and I just got cold. I wasn't warm anymore, and the wait, it definitely threw me off. It threw me off big time. 8 hours is crazy. So sitting there waiting 8 hours, not knowing when my bracket would start, was a little upsetting.
Yeah, so balancing coaching and competing, it's like an on and off switch. So you have to focus on yourself. If you're gonna, it's easy because I'm competing first and then I'm coaching Deric after. So it's easy for me to separate the two because I turn the on switch for competition. and I have my earbuds in, listening to music, warming up in my zone, and I'm just focused on myself. And then after that, after I'm done competing, I could calm down, just kind of relax a little bit, and then I get into coaching mode, and that's when all my focus is on Deric after that.
When I was preparing myself for kata, my expectations were pretty high. Like, I knew my opponents would be tough, but I had been training this new kata, this new black belt kata, Goto Show, for a really long time. Not a really long time, but like a long time going up to the tournament. I trained it a lot, and so I was like, this kata looks good. It's a new kata, and I can't wait to use it. And I was pretty confident I was going to win because the kids at the Riverside tournament for my very first tournament, their katas, no offense, weren't so good. So I knew if they were like that, I would have probably won. So I have no idea, who I was going up against, but I just knew I was confident and my expectations were high in winning.
I agree.
So with my expectations being high and winning, I went in there first match and gave it my all. Obviously the 8-hour wait didn't help at all. So when I did it and I found out I lost, it sucked. It super sucked, actually. I had worked so hard in that kata. I was confident I was gonna win, and I went against this guy who was really good at the kata. I think he got silver, and he just obliterated me off rip, and it didn't feel good. I'm gonna be honest, it did not feel good. After that, I had to get ready for Kumite, and seeing my opponents, they were good. I knew they were good. They were bigger, they were taller, scarier, and when I was going to get ready, I knew it was gonna be tough. I knew that the Kumite would be tough. So as soon as I got there, I saw my opponent, and obviously this is the 15 and 17 bracket, so it's my first time going against someone who was way older than me, and I just saw him smacking himself, getting ready to fight me. To be honest, like, I don't care what anyone thinks, it didn't scare me that bad. It didn't intimidate me at all. I was kind of just jumping around, showing my teeth, showing my gums at him, and I was just staring him down the entire time. He didn't want to look at me, so he just kept slapping himself and walking around, but I knew, I was like, come on, man, like, you're not fooling anyone, So I was ready. The only reason I looked nervous, I looked really nervous because obviously I was nervous for the entire thing in general. I wasn't afraid of him directly, but I knew he was gonna be tough. Obviously I'm not saying, oh yeah, I knew I was gonna beat him and he just looked like he super sucked. No, it's not that. Obviously he looked good. Obviously him doing that showed that he was ready. So it didn't like affect me that much. When I was fighting him in Kumite, he was loose, he was fluid, he was just flowing with every movement, and it was almost scary. Like, he predicted everything I was gonna do, and he countered it perfectly. So I was almost in his trap the entire time. I was just trying to figure out, what are some questions I can give him that he doesn't have the answers to. So I tried throwing some trick questions out there, and, he knew every single answer to my questions, and it sucked. I was like, what do I do? What do I do? So eventually I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna drive in there with the blitz. Like, there's nothing else I can do. He's playing the long run way better than me. So I got my guard up, and then I just went in with the blitz. He timed it perfectly and hit me with a clean head kick. Now that head kick, it threw me off big time. Like, I went black for a second. You can see me kind of stumble on one foot trying to regain myself, and I was like, wow, he just knows everything. And eventually I lost. I lost.
I think Derek's still growing as a competitor. I think he'll be the first one to tell you that too. Like, he learns and he gets better every day. I think that after the first tournament, him being sick, he had some really big guys in his bracket, and he took some pretty nasty kicks. Took a kick to the chest, knocked him down really bad, and I think he kind of went into that first Kumite match a little hesitant, and he got ranked up again. First match with a really big dude. But if you really look at that match, Deric did not back down. Deric was in there. I think he was looking more for the counters instead of attacking. And it's something that we talked about afterwards, because when Deric practices, he practices to be aggressive. He practices to be attacking and getting points. He in and out. And this one, he was just kind of like sitting back a lot. And he was sitting back a lot, waiting for that guy to strike, and then he was trying to go in. And I think it kind of worked against him because how quick this guy was. But I think Deric learned from it and he understood, but like, he didn't back down. Like, he was, as soon as that kid threw any shot, punch or a kick, Deric was in there, bam, jumping in. He showed no fear. I just think that he didn't stick to what he was practicing beforehand. A lot of things factor into it, but I still think Deric did a great job.
Besides, as soon as I lost, it came to me and I was just like, wow, I waited 8 hours, psyching myself out, like, okay, it's my second tournament, let's go, just to get eliminated first round in kata and kumite. It sucked. It did not feel good at all. There was nothing, no one could tell me that would make me feel better. That sucked crazy. Waited so long, prepping myself all day just to go in there with these elite guys and just get absolutely demolished. Like, it didn't feel good. Although I lost, I got bronze in kata, and to be honest, I wanted to throw that bronze medal away so quick. It felt like a pity point, like a participation award. Like, I didn't win, I got destroyed, and they gave me a bronze medal. Some other kid got bronze medal, so I tied with somebody else, I guess. I didn't want it. I wanted to get rid of it so badly. It didn't feel real. Even as we were walking out, I would tell my family, they're like, oh, let's take a picture, and I was like, it's not real. Like, this isn't real. Like, I don't know why they gave me this. Like, I got destroyed in there. My performance overall after we left, I watched everything back over and over. My kumite match, my kata, and I found so many flaws in everything. There was so many flaws in kata. You know, my stances weren't low enough, my poker face was bad, my key eyes were messed up, and then in kumite, there was things I could have done that I didn't do. It was a mess. It was just a mess. My performance wasn't good.
Yeah, so Deric was being hard on himself. You know, he's a competitor, man. He's got that competitive edge, and he was like, I don't believe this medal's legit. I don't think I earned it. But I told him that's not true. Like, you earned every piece of that medal. He had some strong katas. I just wanted Deric to know that he earned that. He stepped on the mat, you know, and like I always tell him, you know, you sailed into the black, and it's a scary place in the black, and you came out with a medal, and that's something to be happy and proud of.
I gotta watch that leg kick. My head was spinning. Yeah, I got hit on the side. Yeah, I'm gonna get the hook kick to the tail.
Hell yeah. Twinsies. Good job, guys.
Wow. Thank you guys for coming.
So when I went in there, first of all, my kata, obviously, like I said, my poker face was bad. I could definitely do better at the poker face. You know, I wasn't snapping as much as I would, and obviously, I think we all know it's because of the 8 hours. You know, excuse or not, it did suck. That affected me crazy. You know, 8 hours. That's like a whole day of waiting there, and having no idea when it's gonna start. So you're just sitting there, like, not being able to fall asleep, like not be able to stay cold, just sitting there. And then when it came, it affected me crazy. Didn't do good in kata, and when kumite came up, I went against the guy who got gold. The guy I went against won the entire bracket, and kata too, and you know, he smoked me. It made me feel better though, because Sensei Adam, he's one of the best to do it, arguably in my opinion. I don't care what anyone says, the guy is great. He told me I should feel better about myself because that guy was a national guy. He's won international tournaments, so he kind of came there for a quick sweep, and I just happened to get him in the first match. So, you know, it happens. But I learned, I rewatched everything, and now I had to prepare for the next tournament in 2 weeks. So when I had been training with Brandon within those 2 weeks, he pushed me. He pushed me hard. So I hadn't trained that first week after Linwood because we were busy with a couple of things like guests coming over, birthdays, and traveling. So I couldn't train that first week. And yes, that's bad, I know. And then when the second week came, that's when my sensei was like, okay, we need to push it. Like, there's no messing around. We need to push it. You got no training that first week. We need to get in there and we need to win. So he told me that medal, if I deserved it or not, he wanted me to look at it every time we trained and be like, I'm gonna get a medal in Nikki Games. I'm gonna get a medal at that pyramid and I'm gonna win. From reviewing the footage from my last tournament over and over and over again, I fixed many things. Like on my kata, I fixed my poker face, fixed my ki, deepened my stances, I studied my katas more. And for Kumite, I worked on my aggression, I worked on playing smarter. And I kind of was like, okay, this tournament, I'm going to transition myself to being less defensive and counter defensive and more offensive and counter offensive. And I needed to, everyone was telling me, you need to be more aggressive, you need to be more offensive. And I was like, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to go in this tournament, I'm going to be offensive. And so I trained offensive that entire week. And then tournament day came up and I was ready. So the morning I woke up on the third total tournament. This was the Nikki Games. This was arguably the biggest tournament of the year. I was not able to sleep that entire night. I got I think 3 hours of sleep. It was nerve-wracking. I woke up that morning, and again, this time I wasn't as nervous. I wasn't too nervous. Same thing with the Linwood one. I wasn't crazy nervous, but I was still ready, and this time I was confident. I was like, okay, I don't care what's gonna happen today. I am going to win something. You know, me and my sensei had been training a bunch beforehand, and, you know, I was determined. Most determined I've ever been throughout my entire competitive journey. The pressure for this Nikki Games tournament was a lot higher. There was a lot more pressure because the guests that had came over on that first week after Linwood, they were coming to watch, and this tournament was a lot bigger. It's the biggest one of the year. It's in a giant pyramid. There was so many people. Yeah, it made me more scared, to be honest. It was a lot of pressure, especially because I need to win. You know, I haven't gotten a legit medal yet, and I've been training my absolute soul off this entire week. So I was just like, I don't care what happens, I'm gonna give it my all, I'm gonna leave with the medal. So on the way there, but 2 minutes before we arrived, you could just see this absolutely massive pyramid just from afar, and I'm like, wait a minute, am I gonna be competing there? And I was like, no way. I knew it was a pyramid, but maybe there's multiple pyramids. So we got closer, and surely enough, this is the tournament I was competing at. It's the biggest tournament for a reason of the year. I got there, and there was just lines of people signing up, and I look up to see this skyscraper of a pyramid just towering over me, and I'm like, wow, I'm competing here. This is for real. And if I win a medal at this place, it's gonna be groundbreaking for me. I'm just lost for words even thinking about it. It was massive. The pressure was doubling at this point. It was nerve-wracking for sure.
So 2 weeks later, we had another tournament, so it was a quick turnaround. Not much time to heal from the previous tournament, and it was, from what I understand, the biggest one of the year. It's called the Nikki Games. It's in my hometown of Long Beach, so that was super exciting. And it was at Cal State Long Beach where they have the pyramid. I've never been there, so to pull up and you see that giant pyramid, you're just like, oh man, This is the real deal.
So after we went on the sides in line, we signed up, we were ready, and we also got a free shirt, which was pretty cool. We walked up the stairs to enter the pyramid, and it was on some like Cat in the Hat crap, like some Looney Tunes crap. I walked in there and this place was double the size than it was outside. Like, I feel like this place was way bigger than the actual pyramid itself. So I walk in and it's just so many people. And you look up and the ceiling just looks endless. And there's just people competing in the bottom. You hear all the competition going on and you're just like, wow. I walk in there and I look around and I'm just, am I actually competing here? Like, is this real? Am I dreaming? Like, it was bizarre. Now the pressure was triple the times. And I was like, I didn't even know how to feel. You know, I was just like, I'm gonna give it my best. You know, I'm still gonna leave with the medal. I don't care how this place looks, what my opponents look like, I'm winning with the medal. And that was my mindset the entire day.
Yeah, so you know, warming up for my division, I saw my bracket, my competitors. I mean, it was bigger bracket than the other tournament, Linwood tournament. I mean, it's this one of the competitors was there from last time. He beat me in kata. But there's other competitors too that were very good. But I mean, you know, nothing different than the last tournament as a feeling wise.
So as we were warming up, I kind of look off into the distance and I see Sensei Adam. Again, Sensei Adam, amazing. He's obviously just in general a great guy, but at the same time, one of the best senseis ever. Instantly walks up to me and he's like, "So, are you ready?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'm ready. This place is scary. It's intimidating for sure." And he was like, "Nope, you're fine." Like, he's like, "You got this." He kind of like tried to get me in the zone. He was like, "All right, make sure you're ready. Make sure you stay focused. Don't worry about anything else that's going on. You got this." He said, "I want performance over result." And that hit me for sure. That definitely hit me. And I was like, all right, got it. Performance over result. I got you. And he kind of walked away. He was like, "Good luck. If you need help warming up, you come get me." And I was like, all right, for sure. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And I kind of walked away and I started doing my own thing. And it was definitely crazy to see him there. And it was a great honor for him to come up to me in general and to kind of give me that advice.
We sit down, we're in there. Brandon and Deric got their headphones, they're in the zone, they're locked in, and they start calling people to the mats. And Brandon goes up there for kata, and he's got some tough competitors in there, but Brandon he nailed it.
Yeah, so my first match, I did kata Niju Hachi. No, sorry. My first kata Niju Shiho. Niju Shiho, it's good kata. It's kind of a shorter kata, but I decided, I'm just going to do Niju Shiho. I'm going to throw that in there. And then my first opponent that I went against, I felt like Niju Shiho would be good kata for him, for that competitor.
flags hit, Brandon wins, and we go nuts.
Second round, I was going against a younger competitor. He probably looked like he was 19, 20. He had very good kata as well. And then I did the kata Niju Hachiho. Niju Hachiho, a Shotokan version of Nipaipo. And he did pretty good kata, and I won that round as well. I think he got one flag and I got the rest. Third round, I went against a younger competitor, and he has pretty good kata. I did Gojishio Sho. Gojishio Sho, JKA, SKF, what I'm a part of is Gojishio Dai. But JKA, WKF tournament, Gojishio Sho, right? So I did Gojishio, and I thought my kata was strong. It was a good kata. There's things I need to work on of that kata. Unfortunately, I lost that round. I medaled in bronze, but it's okay. He was a good competitor that won. So, I mean, it is what it is. Just again, train and go back to the drawing board. Kumite, the first match was, the competitor had good spirit.
Brian hits the mat, gets his first Kumite match, and after he won those katas and he gave us that little hang loose sign, Brandon was feeling himself and he was out there and he was flowing. It was a dominant victory. You ask Brandon, he's gonna be super humble because that's just the type of guy he is, but we were pumped. We were hell yeah.
My first competitor, winning that match. I won, it was 6-0. It didn't affect me in any way. It didn't make me confident. It didn't make me, I was just, I won. It is what it is. And I knew my other competitors were international competitors too. There was 3 international competitors in that division. So I knew what competition I had after that. The way that bracket system was set up, that tournament, I knew that, every tournament, not just that bracket, but it gets harder and harder each opponent. Second competitor, I felt that I landed a lot of good points in that match. for my second match with the judges, they gave me the point first. I landed, I did a Kazami Gyaku Joran, head punch, and I scored that punch. It was clear. And I have this thing in Kumite that I'm not as patient, and I close the distance. I like closer distance. And that's one thing I need to work on. Once I score a point, I need to create more distance, and I need to be patient with my opponent after that. Now, you have to be careful because if you stall for a long time, you could get a warning. And, if you keep on getting warnings, you could get disqualified. So you have to play the game right. So I kind of jumped the gun, and I felt that I landed, a lot of points that weren't called, but it is what it is. Each tournament you're gonna get different judges, and it's what the judges see. It's what the judges see for the tournaments. I wouldn't say that there were takedowns. I think that he was falling down as he was doing technique because my pressure was so strong. And he fell down. I landed Gyakuzakis while he was on the floor. And I don't know, maybe with those judges, I felt that there were points. I don't know. It's okay, I'll see that competitor again, and we'll just go at it again, and whoever wins. It's all about making myself better, making my my kumite better, but. We'll see each other again in competition, and hopefully next competition I medal in bronze. That's what I'm hoping for in the September and October competition. So the 2 weeks competing, I'm proud of my performance. I'm proud of I'm happy with my performance. I'm happy how I did. Getting back and after 10 years. I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I suffered from a knee injury. I'm still recovering from that knee injury. I have to wear a knee brace when I compete. And then my other knee too it's not the greatest knee, but I felt that I did good, and I know that I'm going to improve here on out. And it's just like riding a bike, but those competitors that are 18 years old and 25, 18 to 25, they're fast, they're strong. So I have to adapt to that. So, it's just a learning process.
Watching Brandon, even practice and how serious and important karate is to him has been a cool journey. Like I said, he's just he started out as just my kid sensei. And now I consider him like family. We have great conversations about life. Sometimes we're joking and we mess with each other. Sometimes it's about religion, but we have great conversations. And seeing him compete over the last 2 weeks, and know that he wasn't just competing because he got that itch. He wasn't just competing because he wanted to, but he was doing it and putting himself through that. And the nerves, like anybody that's ever competed in big sports and big sporting events, that feeling of nerves, like me and my sons, especially Xander and Deric, we talk about that feeling is like no other. Like it's almost an awful feeling. Like it's gross and it almost hurts. But the moment that bell rings or that buzzer goes, like you forget about it and you just compete. But that feeling is awful. Like nobody ever says, "Oh, I can't wait for that feeling," But knowing that he did that not for himself but for my son was super cool. Like Brandon went out there, he put himself on the line. He put his health on the line because these guys are throwing missiles when they're throwing kicks and punches. Like they're going for it, and he's doing that because he wants to show my son something. He wants to be there for my son. He wants to show my son that nothing's gonna stop you if you put your mind to something and you try harder. Like I know why Brandon did it, and knowing that and seeing that over the last 2 weeks in that 2 week span of him competing with Deric, he just earned so much more love and respect for him.
So as I was warming up, I hear them in the speakers calling up my group, K27, report to staging. So I went up there and I was like, oh wait, this is not my bracket. So I was like, might as well just stay here because they're calling brackets that are very close to mine. So I kind of sat there and out of nowhere, it was almost perfect. Out of nowhere, I hear this lady go, Deric Vasquez, are you here, Deric Vasquez? And I'm like, oh, I'll go here. And so she's like, you're Deric Vasquez? I'm like, yeah, I'm Deric. And she goes, so how long you been in karate for? And I was like, I'm not too sure, like 3 years, 3.5 years, 3, 4, 2.5. Like I'm not sure. I haven't really kept count of how long I've been in karate for. So I was like 3.5 maybe. And she goes, is it 3.5 or 3? And I was like, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know. I think it's 3.5. I don't know. She goes, well, I need a direct answer. And so I'm kind of sitting there like, okay, lady, I'm telling you, I don't know. You know, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna give her an answer. I'm like, 3 years. And she goes, okay, perfect, 3 years. And then she kind of led up into, so you're doing intermediate kumite and kata. And I was like, yeah, I actually signed up for advanced and intermediate. And she goes, oh, you did? And I was like, yeah, I signed up for both. So she kind of goes through a little folder with her like assistant or whatever, and they're kind of looking, and she goes, oh, okay. And she was like, well, there's a chance you might not be able to do both. And I was like, well, I paid for both, so I'm gonna be doing both. You know, because obviously I was getting a little frustrated that she kind of was being sassy towards me, so I was like, I'm gonna get the same energy, I don't care. So I was like, nope, I'm gonna be doing both, because I paid for both. So you guys have to make it work somehow. And she goes, oh, okay. And so she was like, you paid for both. And I was like, yep, we paid for both. She goes, okay. So she kind of looks and she kind of lets like the staff know I'm gonna be doing both. And her assistant goes, all right, we understand you paid for both, but there is still a chance you might not be able to do both. She was like saying both might, like the intermediate and advanced might happen at the same time, and there's nothing they can really do about it. And so I was like, all right. And she was like, are you fine with that? Like, we're not saying you're for sure not gonna be able to. It's just we're just saying there's a chance. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, it's fine. So after I walk away, I let my parents know, I let my sensei know, and then they were like, nah, we're doing both because that's a little weird.
I was like, no, I'm doing both.
Alright, let's go.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, they did come up. But she said that you could do both, but they might be going on simultaneously. If you called at the same time on both maps, you're not going to do one. There's a chance you'll get mixed. So do you want to pull out of one of them and ask for your money back, or do you want to try to do both? So do you want me to talk? Do you want me to talk to him?
Talk to him about what?
No,
Yeah,
no, not pulling him out.
can you ask if it's organized like that or if it's not?
But not pulling him out.
So they walked over, they talked, and they ended up letting the staff know at the bottom that I was doing both. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to make it work.
Oh, so are they staging it yet? And I was like, no, they're staging 21, 22. I'm 27, 28. And he goes, oh, okay, the wait might be a while. So he was like, hang in there, relaxing. All right. Adam said the wait might be a while, so he was like, just calm down.
Okay. Go put on your headset. Put on your headset.
I think I'm afraid of calling it up and like that.
Not here.
Hey, what are your thoughts on Brandon's performance, dude?
Good. I'm glad he medaled. It's my turn now.
Yep.
So I just gotta hope I bring one home too. I want to go home so badly, bro. I just want to compete and go home.
So after that whole thing happened, I ended up waiting like another hour, maybe 30 minutes, around there. And then they, for real this time, they actually called my division up, K27. And I kind of look in the distance, and I see a very familiar face. There was a very tall and thicker kid, and I was like, wait a minute, that's a kid I competed against in the Riverside tournament. That kid was the very first kid I competed against, and he was the one who put me on the floor, and he beat me in Kumite. So he ended up doing this one too, in the advanced one, and so that's when it really hit me, and I was like, oh snap, I'm competing against this kid again. Great. You know, so they kind of, everyone lines up. So now it's like my soul is just boom, my heart is at my feet at this point. I'm in the middle of these lines. On the right is the advanced league, a bunch of kids on the right. Look to the left, a bunch of kids on the left. And I'm the only one doing both, and I'm like, I'm competing against all these kids. For me to win, it would take a miracle. It's gonna take a miracle for me to win anything here. And so I'm like, oh snap. So they ended up calling everyone's names. Blah blah blah. Are you here? Deric Vasquez, you here? And I'm like, here. And then the staging's complete, and so now they kind of let us down in a line to the mats, and that's when we were warming up, and that's where things begun. So as I kind of get my belt on and I'm getting ready to do my first kata match in the advanced division, I realized I'm going against one of Sensei Chad's kids, Sensei Adam's kids. This is a kid from a dojo I also train with, and I was like, oh snap, I know this kid, and his kata's good. He has good kata. And so I knew this kid, and I was going against someone I know from another dojo. So I kind of just lined up, and I was like, I'm gonna give it my all. I practiced. I fixed all my flaws from the last tournament, and I'm gonna give this kata everything I got. So we went on the mat, we bowed, did our thing, and I begun the kata, and
Deric's a competitor, man, and he's like, I want to do intermediate and advanced, even though the first 2 tournaments were advanced and they were rough. He was facing international guys, and he's like, I still want to do it. And they finish, flags go up, boom, all for Deric. He wins his first one.
sure enough, I ended up winning. So all that practice paid off perfectly, and I beat a kid who specializes in kata. So that felt good. So second round comes in, and I'm like, all right, sweet, won the first round, that's good. Winning a single round is very crucial. So now I'm going against a kid that I'm also familiar with again. It's the bigger kid from Riverside, the same kid. So I was like, with my new kata, unless he's been practicing, I'm gonna beat him. So I lined up, put my belt on, we bowed in, and I'm like, oh snap, here we go. Did my kata, and sure enough, I also won that round. So after I had beat this kid, I realized I got silver from winning that, and I look up to my parents, and I'm like, signaling to them, I got silver. We're in this thing, I got silver. And I kind of walked off the mat and celebrated with my coach, and Sensei Brandon was like, all right, now you're in this thing. So he said, I want you to treat this next one for fun. He said, I would rather you win in the intermediate bracket than the advanced one. So he was like, use his advanced bracket to warm up. So he's like, if you get gold, amazing. If you don't and you stick with silver, still amazing. He was like, just focus up on intermediate, but give it your all for this next one. So when I went up to do this kata, I was going against the kid who had beat all the other opponents, and I used a kata called Jion. Now, Jion was a very unpopular choice among my family and everyone else who was watching. Everyone was kind of confused on why I chose Jion, and they're kind of skeptical about it. But the reason why I did Jion was because that was a kata I knew the most. Believe it or not, I can do Jion the best out of any kata I know. I know Jion technically the best. Technical wise, I got it. And my coach was like, just do that one, just do Jion. He was like, remember, treat this as a fun one. He was like, I don't care if you get gold. If you do, that'd be amazing, again, but he was like, just use this as a warm-up round. He was like, go with Jion, why not? And I was like, alright, for sure. Obviously, it's not the best kata, it's not the longest kata, and it's not the prettiest one, but technique-wise, it's definitely the best, and I know it the best. So, when the conversation kind of got brought up to me, where people were like, why did you do that kata? You could have done something else. Like, why didn't you do a kata that, is more flashy? I kind of let them know. I was like, well, technique-wise, I know this one the best. Time-wise, I practiced this one the most. I've done Jion a lot actually, and I just thought it was the safest pick, and people were like, doesn't matter, it was for gold, so even if you lost, you would have got silver. They were just like saying like, you should have just done a kata like Kankadai. Kankadai is the hardest ground block kata, and I kind of let them know, it was like, I didn't do Kankadai because I've only known that kata for a week, I don't know it the best, so I'd rather choose the one I know the best. And they were kind of just like, you were gonna lose no matter what, so you should have just gone with that choice. But I was like, my sensei told me to do Jion, I thought so as well, and I did it. In retrospect, I feel like I made the best decision. To be honest, I didn't think it would have affected much, because that kid's kata was fabulous. The guy I was going against was really good. So even if I did my best, even if I did my black belt kata, gold or shield short, I think I still would have lost. I don't think it really mattered, because again, I was taking that match more as a warm-up, because either way I got silver, you know. So I don't think it was a bad choice.
Deric walked away with a silver in advanced kata, which was awesome. And Deric was super excited. Of course he wanted to take gold, but he was pumped because he realized I guess I got my first silver medal, and at the Nikki Games.
So after I lost, it was time for the women's to come up, and I still knew I needed to get my medal, but that's when it kind of kicked in, because now the advanced were getting ready to do Kumite as well. But the staff kind of let us know, hey, we can't do anything about this, but intermediate is now starting. And so me and my sensei look at each other and we're like, okay, would I rather skip intermediate kata and compete in advanced Kumite, or would I rather skip advanced Kumite and compete in intermediate on both Kumite and kata? So it was kind of just like, okay, do I skip the advanced Kumite and compete at the intermediate fully, or do I skip the start of the intermediate and compete at the advanced fully? And my sensei was me and my sensei were thinking the same exact thing. We were on the same page. We were like, I think we should skip advanced Kumite because intermediate is my main bracket. I think we need to focus on winning intermediate and not risking it for advanced, because again, advanced is a bracket above me. I shouldn't be going to advanced, period. I should be in intermediate. So after I got silver in advanced kata, we were like, all right, let's just go straight to intermediate. Forget advanced Kumite. And we both agreed on it perfectly, and we rushed over to the mat, and that's where I did my thing. I went against some of the kids in the intermediate bracket in kata, and I just swept them. No offense, it was bad. I swept them pretty hard. So after I won those matches, my sensei comes up to me and he goes, hey dude, this is for gold now. The kid you're going against is doing a kata called Unsu. Unsu is world-renowned kata. Everyone knows Unsu. It's one of the hardest as well. And this kid was able to do Unsu pretty well. So he was like, hey, remember, this is your main bracket. Let's focus up. I want your stances low. I want your ki eyes loud. He was like, you need to win this. This is for gold. And when he told me that, I was like, oh snap, I need to lock in. This kata's for gold, and he's doing Unsu. So I need to focus. I need to give it everything I got.
He's trying to signal to us from the bottom. Next one's for the championship. So we're like, oh my god, again, he's going for silver or gold. Hopefully he can pull out a gold here. blow the whistle, all the flags go up, and it's Deric's flag, and we're like, heck yeah, dude, he just got gold in kata, and we are like losing our minds. Like, I'm half excited, I'm half with a knot in my throat.
So all the flags go up, and let me tell you, it was the best feeling in the world. It was just the best feeling in the world. One gold, so nuts. So as soon as I saw that I got gold in kata, in intermediate, and silver in advance, man, felt good. But the most important thing was the kumite medal. I needed to win kumite, and that's what my mind went straight to after kata.
Yeah, so Adam, he's a coach for Jininkai Dojo that's ran by Sensei Chad Egan, and Sensei Chad Egan's one of my senseis too. And Adam, when I was training with Sensei Chad, he was, I think, 10 years old. 10 years old, because I was like 16 at the time, so he was 10. So he was a lot younger than I was. I was a teenager. But yeah, and he's older now, so he's an international competitor. He's very good at kumite, and so he's been coaching one of my students, Deric, for quite a few months. So I said hi to Adam, and then I let him know that me and Deric are competing, and he just basically told me like, hey, if there's anything you guys need, you let me know, So Adam's been training Deric in kumite for quite a few months, like I said before. So after my competition was over, I walked up to him and I said, "Hey Adam, he's coaching kumite, so I think you should coach him for kumite." And he agreed. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, we'll set it up. Just let me know when he's about to go up. I'll kind of keep an eye on you guys, and when it's go time for our Deric to start to spar for his kumite matches, he was gonna coach him."
And then Sensei Brandon walked up to me and he was like, "Hey, Sensei Adam's gonna be cornering you. He's gonna coach you today in kumite." And as soon as he told me that, it hit me. I was like, "Oh snap!" Obviously everyone knows Sensei Adam in the community. He's a top dog. In my head, I was like, wow, like the fact that he's giving me his time and his attention and his advice and his coaching, like even though I'm very new to the sport, it's crazy. Like I feel like he saw something in me, and I'm glad he did. And it felt amazing, to be honest. It definitely was a blessing. Obviously, actually seeing him right there, one of the best ever, getting ready to coach me, there was a lot of pressure, obviously, because I needed to perform good in front of this guy, especially because we had trained a lot during the start of my tournament training, and he was there from the very beginning. Sensei Adam's been there since the very start of my sport training, and just for him to show me this kind of attention again is huge. As soon as I got up there though, his coaching is phenomenal. Let me tell you, I've never had someone coach me in anything that well. Like his experience is just over the top, and he's still in his prime. It's like he's a scary human being. He's deceiving. You look at him, he looks like this normal guy, right? And then literally he can kill you, bro. But experience, he knew how to handle me and how to coach me perfectly, and the pressure was on from just him being there, but I was there to win, and I was like, all right, let's do it. And I kind of took him coaching me as like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. He was like, go out there, let's have some fun, and I was like, all right, let's get it. Then kind of walked up there, and I was getting ready to face my first opponent.
I don't know how true it is. I guess I would have to watch the tape again. But in my head, I swear I heard everybody go, "Oh!" when it connected and it hit. I know I did that. I might have just been hearing myself.
I knew I was going to land it because just from the distance we had, and I knew his speed and I knew my speed. So I was like, let's have some fun. I threw a spinning hook kick in there, and even Adam was like, all right, let's have some fun. Like, why not? Throw a spinning hook kick. Like, why not? And it was like the highlight. Everyone was talking about like, dude, that spinning hook kick. Like, everyone was like gasped when you hit that. And obviously for me, it felt amazing. Everyone talked about it for a week.
You know, Adam, as a coach, you know, he's international competitor, and he coaches, you know, a lot of very good students, you know, coming from Sensei Chad's dojo. And, you know, me and Deric has a relationship, but also Adam and Deric have this relationship too, because, you know, Adam is his coach as well. You know, he travels down, Deric travels down the hill, you know, to get private lessons with Adam. So they have this relationship, and Adam is, you know, he's very talented in coaching and very talented in kumite, you know. So of course, you know, Adam, you know, it's an honor to me to have Adam coach Deric.
So after I won that first one, huge confidence boost. It felt amazing, just because that was actually the first time I've won a match in kumite. That first match, my first one I've won, it was pure domination. So at this point I was like, all right, it's time to get this gold.
It was just like back and forth, kick for kick, punch for punch, the entire match. I don't remember how long that match was, but it felt like it was probably an hour-long match in my head, because I was just like, oh my god, they're going for it. Like, that kid was good.
It was just that entire time, back to point him, point me, point him, point me. It was getting pretty intense. The bell went off. To be honest, I didn't know who won because our points were so back and forth. So I kind of just sat there waiting to see who won. And I look, and the refs are kind of like confused, like looking at the assistants in the back, and they're talking. And I'm kind of confused. I'm looking at Adam. Adam's giving me a couple more advice. And I look at my opponent. He's doing the same exact thing. He's looking at his coach. He's looking at the refs. So we're kind of wondering what's going on. Obviously, if there was a winner, they would have told us already. So afterward, when the refs go back to their original spot, and the refs look at me, my opponent, and he does his hand signal, and he goes, "Okay, sudden death, first point wins." And as soon as I heard that, I was like, "Oh crap! Like, this is serious." After he mentioned sudden death, all my emotions and nerves were muted, completely numb. All that was left was just me and my opponent and our skills. I was very focused on winning. I was just in my head, I was so determined, I need to win this. I've been training for this moment for so long. It was just pure adrenaline and determination as soon as I heard that. I overwhelmed him with my kick. I threw a strong kick toward his body and instantly followed up with a punch. And as soon as I went up with the punch, he snuck a little reverse punch right in my stomach, right in the rib. And just at the same time, boom! It was almost like perfect. We both hit each other's attacks same time.
As crazy as it sounds, you guys are gonna have to watch it. They both go for the punch at the same exact time, and they both hit really loud. They both just boom! And now we just wait. Who are they gonna say got the punch first?
Both the refs. One ref on the left votes for me, and the ref in the back votes for my opponent. We go back to our line. In my head, I knew for sure I got that point. I was like, oh, for sure I got that. They talk about it, and then the ref was like, oh, all right, it was a draw. So again, next point wins. And the ref was like, man, that's rare. You don't really see two sudden deaths in a match. And so I just knew, I'm just gonna kick him. I'm gonna do the same exact thing. Because every single time I've landed that same exact combination, I either get a point or it's a draw. He has failed to combat that combination for me. And then, bam! Whip that kick right on his shoulder. He tenses up, and as soon as I see him tense up, I just, boom, I go straight through with the punch. And I land it. I got the point, and I was relieved. I was like, my god, I just won that.
And Deric just goes in and boom, gets a shot, and he wins it. And in that moment that he finally won, we all lost it. We're going crazy, we're screaming like, yeah, and Derek's like keeping calm. And I kind of like just buckle down. I'm putting onto the rail, and I just kind of go down, and I'm just like thanking God that he had a great tournament. He did so well.
Just thinking about it now, it's a good feeling. It's one of the greatest feelings you'll ever feel. I walk back, Adam gives me a big hug, looked at my sensei, he's like, I'm so proud of you. And then he gives me a big hug. And it's, after I give them both hugs, I'm like sitting there, I'm like, I wonder why everyone's so happy. Like, what's going on? Because I thought I still had another match. I didn't know it was my final match. Sure enough, he tells me, he was like, good job, you did it. You got your gold medal, you did it, like, you won. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, that was for gold medal? And he goes, yeah, you won, you did it. You beat the bracket. And I was just like, pure joy. I think I was the happiest man on the planet in that exact moment. I had a smile on my face for about 2 hours. Not even joking. I had just won 2 gold medals. I completely wiped. I sweeped my bracket, and it was great. It was the best feeling ever. I'm gonna be honest. Like, that's a feeling not everyone gets to experience, and I got to experience it through hard work. It was amazing.
I pictured Deric when Deric was little and he was in the hospital, and he's got the porta calf and he's got a pick line, and it was Christmas and Santa was coming in to see him, and I pictured that little boy, but he's winning now. And I told Deric after this tournament, like, you've been fighting your whole life, dude. Like, don't only be happy for these wins. You've been fighting your whole life, and you've been winning your whole life. You know, you've been winning with your health. You've been fighting with your health. You've been and winning tough battles there. With school, you know, like, I just gonna be so proud, any more prouder than him, for him and what he's done. He's a freaking beast, man. That's my monster, and it was cool to unleash my monster onto the world and watch him compete and win.
So me and Adam mentioned this to me, and it's 100% true regarding winning your medals. My first few tournaments I didn't even medal. A couple tournaments after that I won bronze. And then a couple of tournaments after that, bronze and silver. And then after that, then started winning golds, And you have this breakthrough moment that you go to these tournaments, and Deric went to these tournaments as an advanced competitor, but really he's intermediate. He should be intermediate. And, he lost those tournaments. Like we all do as competitors, we go to the dojo, we train hard. You feel like you worked so hard and you didn't win, and it feels defeating. But then you just keep on training, you keep on training, and you have this breakthrough moment. And Deric had his breakthrough moment. He swept the floor with kata and kumite. Advanced. He won silver in kata, and that's great. That's a great accomplishment. Won 2 golds and a silver, and I'm proud of him.
Calling to the award stand-up.
I just got 2 medals. I got 2 gold medals plus a silver one. I left with 3 medals around my neck, in which were gold and silver. That's crazy. Not everyone gets to do that. And this time I actually earned these medals. So it was exhilarating. It's a feeling no one could experience. So I'm glad I was able to experience it.
So proud of you, kid. You're a stud, bro.
I cried so bad. I
Holy crap.
And I was kind of just walking up, and I had people congratulating me. I was like, thank you, thank you. And I walk up, and I see my family, and they're all crying, and they were just giving me big hugs. My uncle came, and so I'm glad, you know, a good piece of my family got to see me win. And so as we went up to go take a picture on the podium, these other kids who were taking pictures on the podium, there's 3 kids on the podium, and they all have bronze medals. And they take their picture, and they look down, and they see me, and they go, that kid has 2 gold medals. And then they're like, what the heck? And I'm like, yep, thank you. And they kind of are like walking around looking back at me, and I'm like, wow. And this dad is behind me carrying like his children's stuff.
Just get one of each size, like you get a gold, a silver, and a bronze?
Yeah, alright, no bronze,
Just gold, silver. Nice, nice, good job.
Thank you.
And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, oh, thank you. And I go up and I take the picture, and I have all these people watching me with these medals. And even on the way to go to the car in the parking lot, some guy rolls his window down and he goes, hey, congratulations. And I'm like, thank you. So just to have all that energy around me, I don't even know what to say about it, to be honest. It's something I can't describe with words, to be honest. It's only feeling.
Me first. 1, 2, 3.
Two gold medals and a silver.
Dude, that was a legacy performance right there.
I literally wiped the intermediate division.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
I put it all on the mat. I put everything I had on the mat, and I won. I did it, and I still have more tournaments to go. It's great. It's so great. My dad was telling me, and even if you talk to him, he'll tell you, like, competing is like sailing into the darkness. You sail into the darkness, and people are afraid of the dark, you know, because you don't know what's in the dark. Competing is the same exact thing. When I go into a tournament, I have no idea what's going to be in there. There are monsters in the dark, and that's what people are afraid of. People are afraid of the dark because there's monsters in it. So when I go up in there, I'm facing kids who are twice my size, twice my weight, twice my experience, and these are the monsters that everyone's afraid of. But it felt good to know that I became a monster that day. When I got those 2 medals, I became a monster in the dark. So instead of being fearful of going into the dark from the monsters of my experience, now I'm going to be going to the dark knowing I belong there. So that's it. And now I just got to wait for my next tournaments and just give it everything I got.